In 1970, the American Western-loving audiences got exposed to a new John Wayne film called Chisum. It had a very large cast that included Forrest Tucker, Christopher George, Ben Johnson, Glenn Corbett, Jeffrey Deuel, Andrew Prine, Bruce Cabot, and Patrick Knowles. The film was directed by Andrew McLagan, and it was adapted for the screen by Andrew Finnerty from his short story Chisum and the Lincoln County Cattle War. This is a truly gripping Western whose action is based on a true historical event, although quite a bit of liberties were taken in the usual Hollywood style. John Wayne stars as John Chisum, and he's an aging, kind-hearted, wealthy cattle baron that is destined to fight one more big battle of his life. He's the owner of the largest ranch with the most livestock consisting of cows and horses in Lincoln County, New Mexico. The Pecos River runs through his land, and being the generous person that he is and a man of real character, he doesn't build a dam or sell the water rights to other ranchers. He allows that river to flow through for everyone's benefit. His land borders the ranch of his good friend, Henry Tunstall. He's another outstanding gentleman who sees the good in people. In fact, one of his ranch hands is a young man who wants to reform and live an honest life. Tunstall has taken him under his wing, really serving as the boy's mentor. That ranch hand is Billy the Kid. And little do Chisum and Tunstall know that they will soon be needing the kid's gunslinging skills. The notorious businessman L.G. Murphy will do anything to control Lincoln County and make a fortune on livestock sales and other trades. He ends up buying all the stores in the town, jacks up the prices on merchandise, he takes over the bank, and has a sheriff elected who will enforce his dirty deeds. Since he's put the squeeze on smaller ranchers, the only target left for total control are the ranches owned by Chisum and Tunstall, and they're not going to go down without a fight. They end up starting to open their own bank and general store, which soon comes under attack by Murphy's henchmen. When the gambler Pat Garrett is passing through the county, he hears about the plan by Murphy's men to steal Chisum's cattle before he has the chance to make a real prosperous sale to the army. Though Chisum has a dedicated band of men fighting Murphy's corrupt and underhanded deadly schemes, this despicable businessman grows stronger and bolder every day. Fed up with this, Tunstall decides to head to Santa Fe to seek the help of Governor Sam Axtell. Along the way, Murphy's men ambush him, and now the battle between the two forces becomes even more fierce, as Billy the Kid's efforts to reform turn into rage and revenge. In real life, the siege of the McSween house lasted 4 days. On July 15, 1878, the regulators were surrounded in Lincoln at the McSween house by the Murphy-Dolan fraction and the Seven Rivers Cowboys. On July 19th, the house was set on fire. As the flames spread and night fell, Susan McSween was granted safe passage out of the house, while the men inside continued to fight the fire. By 9 o'clock, those left inside set to break out the back door of the burning house. Jim French went out first, followed by Billy the Kid, Tom O'Follard, and Jose Chavez. The Dolan men saw the men running, and they opened fire on them, killing Harvey Morris, who was Alexander McSween's law partner. Michael Wayne, John Wayne's son, was the executive producer of this movie, and he really took on this project because he felt that the story summed up well his father's political views. Bat Jack Productions, owned by John Wayne, was the primary production company for the movie, and they built the sets for the film on location in Durango, Mexico. And this included the Chisum Ranch. When they produced Big Jake in 1971, which was the following year from this movie, That same ranch house, already owned by the production company, was used for the McCandles Ranch, and the only change that they made to it was that they added white siding as an exterior change to make it look different. Now, Ben Johnson is in this film, and every time you have Ben Johnson in any film, the film is so much better for it. He is one of those actors that just does something to it. His style, his delivery, his presence on the screen is remarkable. Ben Johnson's salary for this movie was $30,000. Now, one interesting thing that's in this movie is that when Billy the Kid and his companions break into McSween's store, McSween comes down the stairs in the dark asking, "Who's there? Who's there?" And this is real similar to what legend says as being the last words of Billy the Kid, who spoke them in Spanish in a dark room just moments before he was killed. It's said that what he said was, "Who is it? Who is it?" instead of "Who's there?" Former U.S. President Richard Nixon commented on the film during a press conference that he held in Denver, Colorado on August 3rd, 1970. In doing so, he used the film as a context to explain his views on law and order. When John Wayne, who plays Chisum, and Sally are talking on the porch, John Wayne opens up his pocket watch to see what time it is. And Sally remarks that the picture of the man and the woman inside the watch's cover are her parents. The man in the photograph is actually Chisum writer and producer Andrew J. Fanaday, and the woman that you see in the photograph next to him is really actress Lee Merriweather, who had appeared with John Wayne in the previous year's film The Undefeated, which was also directed by this same director and was filmed in the same area that they filmed this movie, Durango, Mexico. The zoom in and zoom out sequences of Chisum sitting on his horse on the hillside at the beginning and the end of the movie are all the same footage. The original shot was the zoom out used at the end of the movie. That was reversed to produce the zoom in used at the beginning of the film. Now, I found notes that said that John Wayne had some cosmetic surgery done just before the film in September of 1969. And this was a month before filming began. I'm really not sure what he had done. I've really looked hard and can't find what he had corrected by surgeons. John Wayne was really disappointed that his stunt double was so obvious in one of the final fight scenes with Forrest Tucker. He felt like it was just completely over the top, obvious that it wasn't him. During the filming of this movie, John Mitchum introduced John Wayne to his patriotic poetry. In seeing that John Wayne was greatly moved by these words, Forrest Tucker suggested that the two get together and collaborate on a recording of this patriotic poetry. So that's just what they did, and it resulted in a Grammy-nominated spoken word album titled America, Why I Love Her. I find this little fact pretty amazing in that you wouldn't think of John Wayne recording an album. But you can't think of a more iconic voice to do that than himself. The production was originally set up with 20th Century Fox to do it, but it was moved to Warner Brothers because Fox's production schedule just wouldn't allow them to film it. The song, The Ballad of John Chisum, was narrated by William Conrad. And then also the song Turn Me Around was sung by Glenn Campbell. The movie premiered in Dallas, Texas on June 24th, 1970. It grossed $6 million at the box office. Chisum is one of those last true classic westerns, bringing to life iconic characters of America's Western heritage. It's filled with tons of the action that you love, from the gunfights to the stampedes. and truly good guys battling the bad guys, with a little hint of romance mixed in. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.